All right.
Mike, what's your kind of level of excitement being here, knowing that the season's underway in a couple of weeks?
Fired up. Yeah, I mean, listen, off season are good to, get back and enjoy some of your personal life and chance to reflect and recharge. But after a short period of time, it's ready to go, and I can't be more excited. We've had a really productive off season. I'm sure there'll be more specific questions about that, so I won't get into detail about it. But, answer your ultimate question, I'm ready to go. We're excited.
When you have a roster like you have, you lose a couple of pieces, so obviously we're very important from last year. How do you look to replace that kind of production energy, or do you just look for just do it in the aggregate? How do you try and fill out a lineup now to fill in some of the holes that you have?
Yeah, I always start with the gratitude of what I have in life and, with our team. And what we have is pretty darn good. You think about some of the names that are out there, and it's good to be able to see these guys come in this week and catch up with them. And, we've talked to a lot of them this off season, consistently, and they're having good off seasons. But, you look around and, always look at the teams in different blocks. You got your position players. You look there. Heck, you got Louis coming in. He's healthy, feeling good. Toddy looked like, he put on an absolute laser show the other day, taking BP. Manny looks fantastic. He looks tremendous. Definitely won his off season. He's in a great place. Had multiple conversations with Bogey. He's excited to be able to go back and enjoy playing shortstop again at a high level. Crony, tremendous off season. Looks great. Got married. But looks fantastic, ready to go and be an all-star caliber, gold glove caliber second baseman. Clearly has that ability. Jackson just keeps going and, excited about competing and playing. We got Diaz back behind the plate, did a great job for us at the end of the season. Was able to contribute to us to get to the playoffs. Campy's had a really, really good all season. He's really in a good spot as well. So when you take that rundown, you got Wadey back. He just brings pure energy when he comes into the clubhouse and see him. So another established guy. So listen, we've got a good nucleus of guys that competed, knows what it takes to win, continue to do it together, which is a big part of our theme. Not going to sit here and, alibi the fact that, yeah, we got some guys that we miss, but that's the nature of this game, right? It can be a, somewhat transient game in that regard. And really happy for Pro and Higgy and Tanner Scott and, Solano. It's good to see that those guys came here, performed well, and yeah, we'd love to have had them back. I don't think there's anybody in the organization that would have, wouldn't say the same thing. But the reality is, it's hard to keep a full team together, and we wish them the very best. Super happy for Pro, Higgy, Tanner, Donovan. Couldn't be more thrilled for them. They all got taken care of for their families and got rewarded for the years they had here. But the fact of the matter is, we got plenty in the clubhouse, and other guys now get a wonderful opportunity to step up and contribute. You mentioned now we go to the pitching side. Clearly, Joe being out, that's going to hurt. But Joe's not out. Joe just is not able to perform on the mound this year. Joe's still an integral part of our clubhouse and our leadership group, and he's done a phenomenal job. He just hosted Camp 44 this past week and brought in the pitchers, but now we got another year of continuity with, Michael King. This guy, Cy Young caliber stuff last year, pitched great, better as the season went. Outstanding in the playoffs. Dylan Cease, no hitter, coming back, looking good, got the nice beard going, Darvish is Darvish, so, able to list these names. And, Randy Vasquez back, year under his belt. This got 20 starts for us last year in the big leagues. Big league consistent starter is going to get 32, 33. So he helped carry a lot of the mail. Matt Waldron, without Matty for probably 5 weeks of the season last year, being able to eat innings and win games for us. He's back, so we're in a good spot. Bullpen, yeah, we missed Tanner. Clearly wipe out lefty. Adrian Moyhone really took a next step last year. Really took a nice step. He's had a tremendous offseason. Looks fantastic, in a good place. You got the Caballo, you got Suarez down there to close it out. Jason Adam, what can you say about him? This guy crushes righties, lefties. The whole shooting match. Hoying came in, did a phenomenal job. Yuki, tremendous. You know, he really had a good year. You look at it and you kind of pick it apart, and some of the things that you look at and you go, oh, it could have been better here or there. Really, ultimately, the second half, 5% walk rate, 34% strikeout rate. Looks good, ready to have a good season. You know, like I said, Hoeing understated part of that trade. Grabs a 6, gets a 7th, you know, helps you bridge to the back end guys. So the point, long answer to your question, we got a really good pieces in place here. And so, yeah, that group's going to have to perform. The beautiful thing about this game is it creates other opportunities for other guys to step up and take advantage of that, and that's part of there and my job to help with that. And, you know, the last piece of the continuity piece is, you know, our staff's back. You know, we got Ruben signed. We're going, you know, toe-to-toe together for the next 3 years, which is fantastic. We get to walk together. Victor's back, got, you know, some extension time. Our staff, by and large, is back. And, you know, it's a great situation.
So just reading between the lines, you're excited.
I'm really excited. You can hear it in my voice, right? We all should be excited. But I can't help, you know, anybody else and how they feel. But I can just tell you how I feel, and I couldn't be more pumped.
Bogart's short. What went into that decision? What are your expectations?
The good news is, you know, as we all know, we have a lot of shortstops. And so, you know, once it was, you know, it looked like that Kimmy was not going to be able to come back. Of course, he was, you know, coming off the surgery anyway. And Bogey being able to finish last year at shortstop, and then be able to get into the off season, and you know, it's maybe more of a question for AJ. But once we realized that the way the team was getting built, looked like that, you know, it was an opportunity for Bogey to play short. So had a great conversation with Bogey probably a month ago with AJ, and you know, he had already had his head around wanting and been training to go back and play shortstop, very enthusiastic about it. So it was a combination of things, which in turn got Crony over to second base, and he's in a good headspace with that as well.
You mentioned Mario when talking about the relievers. Is that how he's going to start the year?
It is, yeah. You know, there are thoughts, and there are some guys that we are looking to stretch out. We're still finalizing that with them and getting their progressions going with that. So I won't get into too great a detail about some of those considerations. It's not going to be a big state secret, but answer your specific question, Adrian has found a really nice niche in the bullpen. It's a spot that we think he's going to not only do as well he did last year, but take the next step. And he's excited about remaining in the bullpen and just being a dominant guy out of that spot.
You talk about the big star of the team, but how about the newcomers? Can you talk about a little about Tirso Ornelas? What chances do you see for him to be an MLB player next year?
Yeah, I'm really excited about Tirso. You know, it's a good name. You know, this is a guy that has really been a homegrown Padre, continued to progress. It's a success story that we look to have the final success, and that's the ability to perform at the big leagues. He's a really hard worker, you know, has really transformed himself into a really good player. He's gone out and played in winter ball and done exceptionally well. So he's definitely going to get opportunity to see what he can do.
And you mentioned Jackson Merrill. You guys are kind of aligned in a way, both in your second season with the Padres, both runners-up for major MLB awards. Talk to me about your connection with him and just his sophomore season. Yeah,
you know what? From day one, this organization, I just connected with Jackson, you know, going back to the minor league days and the times I was over there and times we ever connect, it was just always easy. You know, he's a very conscientious, clearly talented player, but the maturity is beyond his years. You know, sometimes, actually not sometimes, a lot of the times when I'm with Jackson, it's like, who's the adult in the room? You know, and so, but we just have a real connection, and a part of that connection is we love the game of baseball, but definitely another part of the connection is, you know, Jackson's got a real strong desire to compete and win. You know, it's really clear in the way he's made and what he thinks and what we show up to do. And, you know, so we're very equally yoked in that regard. We have a strong hunger for winning and competition.
As a 21-year-old, how much from a leadership perspective can you ask from him?
Yeah, that's a great question. You know, I think about this as, you know, you always think about, good news is we have a clubhouse with leadership. And I was really pleased about that last year. The core of that leadership group is back. You know, Manny, Bogey, Crony, Toddy, Darvish, Musgrove. So that established leadership core is going to carry the mail. So it allows Jackson to go out and perform. That being said, there's always a little bit of a graduation as a player establishes himself to take a little bit more in that regard, use your voice a little bit more. Thing about our voices, we don't really hamper anybody from using their voice. We like to encourage people to have them share their thoughts, which is super healthy. But really, the best thing Jack can do is do what he already does, and that's your best leaders are leading by example in your actions. Jackson is very consistent in how he goes about things, very professional, and clearly, like I mentioned about the competitive piece, competes regardless of circumstance. Ultimately, those are what true winners do. But for him and like Michael and Michael King and Jackson, those are the guys that you're looking at, really good players that are younger and they're establishing their big league careers to take some of those next steps. But it'll be more organic than intentional.
Mike, how much of a concern do you have with what's going on at the top of the organization with the lawsuits, and how much does that affect your daily job and what you have to accomplish?
Listen, clearly, it's something that we'd prefer to be, resolved or not overly public. It's way out of my pay grade. And, I'm a very big believer that the organization's in good hands right now. I feel like we're very stable. We've got, consistent, clear messaging throughout the organization right now that I believe in and feel strongly about. But ultimately, for me, it doesn't defer anything really that we do because, we've got our area, and that's the clubhouse and the field, and, we're very connected and together and aligned, and, me and AJ work very, very well together, and, we're synced up. He's synced up with, what's going on with me in the clubhouse, and so, really it's about continuing to create this very highly functional environment that is our clubhouse and on our field. And we have it, and just going to get stronger and stronger. And, I can't allow anything outside of that to create any distraction. And quite frankly, it's not.
Time for two more, guys.
You saw how electric this ballpark was all last year. Can you get maybe a little bit of that kind of feel on a day like today?
Yes, it's fantastic. I got it yesterday too. I love many things about the organization, but I really enjoyed, Ace was on the caravan with us yesterday in the community, and just a real enthusiasm for this organization, our players, but also it goes both ways. Our players enjoy and feel like we're a part of the fan fabric, and the fans feel a part of our team fabric, and our guys enjoy performing for our fans, getting involved in their community, and it's real and it's genuine. It's not forced. But yeah, yesterday was a fantastic day. Today, it just brings the electricity to you, and I can't be more grateful. And I hope our fans realize how much they mean to us and how much their support really does mean to us. And it moves our needle for sure. It's a special place. It's the best place to play in. And I won't mention the managers' names, but in the winter meetings when I went to the, we have our managers' meetings with the commissioner, all 30 managers, and multiple managers would say it's the toughest environment for our clubs to play in.
Wiki Campusano is back. What can you tell us about that?
We are excited to have Campy back. I alluded to the fact, really, really good offseason. Wynn played winter ball. Really pleased. Winter ball for a guy that's played and established himself as a big league player is not something that, is very, consistently normal. But he was, hey, I got to work on my game. I want to go work on my game. So that showed something about, his dedication to his career and wanting to take the next steps forward. And he's in a good spot, and looking forward to seeing him in spring training.
One last one.
This might be the second straight year where you get to camp and there are moves happening there. You handled that last season and the team kind of came together. Like what goes into making that work when the moves come together late in the offseason or during the season?
Well, what makes it work is you already have an established clubhouse and staff that are cohesive, that are working in lockstep. And then when you add something to the puzzle, it's able to assimilate really quickly. And then we use this term fairly frequently. There's always a game. We talk about baseball being a game of adjustments, and we're going to be elite adjusters. And so if you have the mindset that we're going to make the adjustment, we're going to plug in, we're going to make sure that everybody wraps their arms around whatever the new move may be, or either way it goes, then we can adjust together and be more efficient and be able to make sure we're going towards our goals, which is back in the playoffs and deeper.